Good afternoon, guys. This is going to be a short video on an update about Ukraine and the use of nuclear weapons. I've just got off the phone with a good friend of mine, and we had a very sobering yet comprehensive talk about the potential use of nuclear weapons in Eastern Europe. So just to put this into context, when I did my video earlier on, more news has come out now about the UK wanting to allow the Ukrainians to use Storm Shadow missiles inside Russia itself. I don't know why this is making the news. I thought this was already a done deal, but apparently not, and it's making mainstream media. Anyway, so what I want to talk about is the use of nuclear weapons. Now, it's all over the Russian chat. It's all over Russian Telegram posts, Russian social media, and all the Russians are pointing to the same thing, that the likelihood of the use of a low-yield tactical nuclear weapon is very high at the moment. I'll give you the reasons why. So let me share this video with you guys, and we'll stop it, and we'll just talk about what's being said. I don't know how this is going to work. Let's... hang on. Yeah, this one. So for those of you who can remember, this guy, Yevgeny Prigozhin, he was the leader of the Russian Wagner group, which was a mercenary group. They did a lot of fighting in Ukraine. He then tried to turn on Russia. There was some peace deal or something, and then his plane fell out of the sky, and I'm not going to go into it, guys, but we all know what happened. Anyway, so this guy here, this is a video from him warning about exactly what's happening right now. And what he actually says, guys, is chilling. So I think subtitles come up. Yeah. So Wagner chief has warned Russia may nuke its own territory. So don't forget, guys, this was a year ago when this guy was warning about this. So Russia would not hesitate to take out the insurgents in Belgorod. So this is in regards to a previous incursion. Isn't it because we are retreating in Belgorod, letting them advance, that it's scary to strike someone else's side, but we'll strike our own side. We'll show what mentally ill we are. I think that's in the translation. So what he's saying there is that the Russians, they understand that if they strike Ukraine, there'll be too much condemnation. If they strike targets in NATO with their nuclear weapons, there'll be, potentially a bigger outfall and a nuclear response. So what he's saying here is, he's saying the reason that the Russians are pulling back so much in Belgorod is that the Russians want the Ukrainians to be in their own land before they fire a nuclear weapon. So that in that context, they're ticking all the boxes. They're showing that they can use nuclear weapons. They're also not violating anybody else's territory because they're using nuclear weapons on their own territories and, again, on their own people. Guys, this is absolutely wild. Play it again. And remember, this was a year ago when he said this. And I'll put the link in the description. And then he just goes on, a nuclear strike on foreign soil would invite massive retaliations. Attacks by anti-Kremlin militias in Russia's border region of Belgorod have increased. So then back in this time, this is why he was saying it, because he was offering to send his Wagner group into that region to defend the region. And I think they just moved from Bakhmut at the time. Yeah. So this was following the withdrawal from Bakhmut. He was saying, look, I'll go into Belgorod and I'll clear these Ukrainians out. So that's what's happening at the moment, guys. And that's what people are talking about in Russia. Obviously, we're not going to hear anything about this in mainstream media. We're going to hear nothing on the news. But that looks like it could be, that could be the next play. I think it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, that this thing could happen. Now, the other benefits for Russia of striking their own territory is they wouldn't have to put their nuclear weapons into a well, they would. They wouldn't have to put their they wouldn't have to put their missiles into a comprehensive delivery method delivery vessel. They could literally just stick this on the back of a truck, drive it in. You could have all the scientists and, you know, whatever technicians there making sure it goes off. When you start to put these things into ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, when you start to put these on hypersonic missiles, it then becomes more technical and more complicated because you've got things you need to engineer in, engineer out, and a lot of things that can go wrong. However, if, like what we're seeing from this interview or from this vlog, what Prigozhin said, the reality is Putin could get one of his nuclear weapons, one of his low-yield tactical nuclear weapons. He could drive that in on the back of a flatbed or whatever. You know, all the technicians around it. Right, it's going to go off in 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever. You know, and then they would have served all those purposes. They would have been able to do that under their own nuclear doctrine. They would be able to show the West that they can and will use nuclear weapons. Also, the threat and the optics from some people, some Western pundits would be, look, he's willing to use nuclear weapons on his own people. What's he willing to do to us? But then you've got to look at it in the bigger context. He's scared of using nuclear weapons on the West because he knows there'll be a nuclear retaliation. And obviously, you know, things built under communism are never as good as things built under capitalism because, you know, these nuclear weapons in Russia, they're probably made by somebody's brother who's somebody else's brother who knows somebody's brother. And he decides that because his uncle's the Minister of Defense, he should make the nuclear weapons. Whereas in the United Kingdom or the West, there's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of bidding for these contracts. You know, only the best product goes forward. And that's kind of, you know, why things built under capitalism are better. But that's the word of the day, guys. That's straight from the horse's mouth. That's what the Russians are saying. That's what the Ukrainians are saying. Everybody's saying that Putin could use a nuclear weapon on his own country. He'll tick all the boxes. He'll do all the right things. He'll scare people, and it may even get Putin the escalate to de-escalate that he wants. Guys, be under no illusion, this conflict's going nowhere. It's not going to be over anytime soon. So just keep yourself prepared. And imagine right now, this nuclear, just imagine, let's just speculate, guys, okay, that this does happen. Imagine what the shops are going to be like. Imagine all the people rushing to the supermarket to buy tinned food, to buy bottled water, to buy toilet paper, and all the rest of that mad stuff that we've seen. Guys, if you know that this is coming, go and get it beforehand. It's always better to be proactive than to be reactive. Guys, that is it. That's just a short video on what's been happening there. And again, you know, a lot of this is my speculation. Don't forget to like and follow and share my stuff. I really like it when you do that. Guys, I'm going to max a grid and I'll see you guys later.